All right, I almost said good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. With the Hounds of Business, I'm Mike Ashabraner, uh, founder of Hounds of Business, and Mike King Biz. Mike King has something come up that he can't make it today, but we're still going to throw this on his radio show, Mike King Biz, ESPN 106.1 RVA. And today, hey, we have a special guest. I'm supposed to take him off stage first, but hey, whatever, right? Mr. Bob Burg. So we are going to let him speak here in a little bit, and we are so excited to have you today, Bob. I'm going to do the interview impromptu today. So I tell you what, Sindal, let's go ahead and roll this. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Folks are filing in. So excited for this opportunity. All of you guys in the pack and the Hounds of Business community make this so special. You show up, you push people up. And this guy wrote the book, literally, co authored four of them. All right. Hound Pack Principles, man. We love him. We love it. We can't wait. So go ahead and roll that intro, Sindal. Appreciate you.
Are you looking to grow your business and your mindset alongside a fun and awesome pack? Grab a chair and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashabraner, the business mechanic, and his win-win network for the Hounds of Business Happy Hour.
All right. Hey, radio audience. Good to see you again. If you're on the live stream, appreciate you showing up. Radio audience on Friday, you're in for a special treat. All right, brought to you by the Hounds of Business, the great one and only Bob Burg of the famous Go Giver series. How are you today, Bob?
Doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me with you. And great to know all the hounds are listening in.
Oh man, they're big Bob fans, man. Don't try to take it now. They'll let you lead the Hounds, man. Yeah, don't want that. All right. So I met you through the great Tanya Eberhardt, right? Through Brand Face. Uh, how did you connect with her? I didn't even find out.
Yeah, I connected with her and Michael through a mutual friend, Coach Jim Rohrbach, who was on their show, and he's been a great friend of mine for probably 25 years. And they were talking, and I guess speaking about people who might make for good guests, and he recommended me, and they reached out. So sort of worked that way, and I think that's the way it works with a lot of the hounds, right? Everybody sort of knows, likes, trusts each other, and refers to one another, and advocates for one another, and that's really how it works.
Daggum straight, Bob. Thank you for that. And again, people think because you're the authority. I'm gonna make you blush a little bit, right? To me, people think of sales, it conjures up dirty word, right? I'm pushy and the old snake oil, the 50s, and this kind of stuff for business and dog eat dog. And you bring a breath of fresh air to this. So go ahead and give a short background, if you would, to what your kind of your past and your history in business, but what led you about 10 years ago to start that first book with your co-authors.
Yeah, well, and and what you say about sales and people's perception of it, that's so very true. When people say, "Well, I don't like sales," or I could never sell. I sales, I it's not that they don't like sales; it's that they don't like what they think selling is.
Right.
Because if you've been brought up to believe, and you've been exposed to that their TV shows and movies, and you see the selling as trying to convince someone to buy something they don't want or need, which, by the way, is not selling. That's called being a con artist, right? It's not selling. But if
Right.
that's how you see sales, and you think that's what selling is, well, of course you wouldn't want to do it. Of course you don't like it, right? Because who would want to do that
Right.
unless it was someone who is the type of person we wouldn't really even want to be around, right? So
Right.
instead, let's kind of reframe that and look at what selling really is. Selling is simply, by definition, it's discovering what that other person does need, does want, does desire, and helping them to get it. The interesting thing is the old English root of the word sell was selan, which meant to give. So when you're selling, Mike, you're literally giving. Now, someone would say, well, wait a second, isn't that just semantics, right? Selling, giving. You're selling. What are you really giving? Well, let's say you are in front of a prospect. You are about to have a sales conversation with this person, okay? You are selling. So if you are, what exactly then are you giving that other person? Well, I suggest you're giving them time, attention, counsel, education, empathy, and most of all, exquisite value. So when we reframe when we reframe sales as something you do to someone, to something you do for someone, and that it's really all about the value you bring to them, now we can look at sales in a totally different way. And now we can be
Right.
very proud of being a sales professional.
I love that, Bob, and I think everybody else does too. That man, the comments are bumping. I knew it was going to
Oh,
happen.
thank you.
You give of self. You're giving of your whole self. And I know this may sound corny, but that's why I started the Hounds of Business because I didn't have any
Mhm.
friends, right? I didn't know how to connect. I knew if people would know, like, and trust me, if I could be myself and let them see what's inside, then they would take a look at my business, right? It's an extension of who I am. So how did you always think this way, or did this kind of happen through some life events, Bob?
Well, I mean, I had a great advantage in being brought up by two wonderful parents. So I got to see how they were with people and how they treated others. So that was, that's a great foundation. Very lucky. But as you grow up and you get into business, you see people doing things in different ways, and some of these ways are very incongruent with your beliefs, and other ways are congruent, and you see people do things in a way that maybe isn't what you'd prefer, but you see other people doing it, but you start to see patterns. Okay, you observe, you see
Oh
patterns,
yeah.
and what I would notice is this: that those salespeople who were the most successful financially, who also seemed to take a great deal of joy in what they did, who were loved and respected by their customers and clients, who were sustainably profitable, these are the people who are always focused on the other person, right? What we call go givers, right? As opposed to
Yes,
go
sir.
takers, right? Who are, right,
Yep.
focused only on what they can get, despite not adding value to the other person, to the process, to the situation. And so, you see those patterns. And what I liked about it was, well, that's how I wanted to be. And I think one of the things when John David Mann, who was my co-author with the Go Giver series, and who was really the lead writer, storyteller, he's a brilliant guy. I'm step one, step two, step three. You can tell that about me when you've spoken to me for 2 minutes. John's a brilliant storyteller. But what we realized, and the feedback we got from so many people after the book came out, was that yes, this book gave me permission to do things the way I wanted to do. And what they meant was to do things that were congruent with their personal value system. And that's the
Wow.
key.
Man, I'm gonna blow my hat's gonna blow off, Bob. I mean, good lord. So yeah, again, I would love for you. Nobody wants to hear me today. So let me
Yes,
get
they
some
do. Of
free
course
advice
we
for
do.
myself and the thousands of people that are listening or will listen. You know, I, wow. I can't even talk, man. I'm what is the yeah, what is it that when you encounter, like, how do you know if somebody is a giver or a taker? Do you test them out? Do you just observe carefully? Like, is there some kind of method to that, so you don't waste time and money? Or, you know, what is your
Well,
experience?
I love that question, because one of the questions that John and I will get is, if you're a go giver, can you be taken advantage of? Well, first, so let's first define what we mean by go giver, and then answer that question because it's a very important one. So when we say go giver, we're simply talking about that person who understands that shifting your focus, and I think this is really where it all begins, Mike, shifting your focus from getting to giving. And when we say giving in this context, we simply mean constantly and consistently providing immense value to others, understanding that doing so is not only a more fulfilling way of conducting business, it's the most financially profitable way as well. but not for any kind of woo-woo, way out there, magical, mystical reasons. Oh, just give and be nice and good things. No, it's actually a lot more
Right.
rational than that. Okay. And that's this. When you are that person who can take your focus off of yourself and instead place it on serving others. Again, discovering what they need, want, and desire, helping them solve and work through their problems and challenges, helping to move them closer to happiness. Well, the fact is, people feel good about you. They feel great about you. They want to get to know you. They like you. They trust you. They want to be in relationship with you. They want to be part of your business. They want to be part of your life. They want to be what we call your personal walking ambassador, or what the great author Richard Wildman calls your delighted advocate. Right. And
Right.
so that's really what we mean. It's that shift in focus. Now, so can you be taken advantage of? Well, anyone can be taken advantage of. Now, because, we live life, and unless you stay inside all the time and never see anybody, well, at some point in life, of course, it's going to happen. But if we're looking at the person who has a pattern of being taken advantage of, this is different. Okay. And what I would say to somebody is, if that's you, if you are in a situation where you're constantly and consistently finding yourself being taken advantage of, it's not because you're a nice person. It's not because you're a giver. It's because you're doing things in a certain way that create the environment for people to take advantage of you. Now, if you know this, then my first thought is congratulations, because you can only overcome an issue once you are aware of it. Okay. But then you've got to go deeper and ask, all right, well, so why am I doing this? Why is it that in all these situations, I'm always there? Right. And I'm always being taken advantage of. Now, different people have different reasons, and these reasons are always unconscious. Nobody, Mike, nobody gets up in the morning and says, hey, I wonder if I can find someone to take advantage of me today. No.
I sure did.
And yet and yet it happens. So there are different reasons. It could be that person has worthiness issues, and they don't feel they deserve to be happy and be in healthy relationships or not be taken advantage of. It could be the person is an attention seeker, and their payoff is they're that person who everybody says, oh, that poor person, they're always giving, but they're always being taken advantage. But they what do they say? Don't interfere with the martyrs. They love the work, right? And there's nothing about being a go-giver that is about martyrship or self-sacrificing or being a doormat. Okay. It could also be the person isn't equipped to be able to say no in a way that is both polite and respectful and protects their own boundaries. So there's all sorts of reasons. So now, how do you know when you're dealing with someone that they're a go-giver or a go-taker, or maybe, as Adam Grant in his great book, A Give and Take, as he called them, matchers? People who they'll do things with the understanding that they're going to get something back, or if you do something for them, they feel like good. Okay, then there's those three different types. Well, I don't know if you can really know 100% of the time, but I think it can start to sense with someone, especially if you're living as a go-giver. Okay, you tend to attract go-givers into your life. That's why the most powerful relationships are those where everybody's giving not 50%. It's not 50-50. It's simply 100, right? Again, not self-sacrificially, not at all. Everything you do, you're acting congruently with your values, okay, and with your value system. You're lifting everyone in the process, okay? So you tend to, as you do that, and the more you do that, you would tend to attract those people into your life. But there are always going to be go-takers, because there are go-takers out there. To say otherwise would be not operating within reality. Okay. So, my feeling is you give people the benefit of the doubt, but you certainly don't put yourself in a position where, you could be hurt by trusting someone who, you haven't enough of a relationship with to actually see what they're really all about. This is why we love the know, like, and trust. It's why I've been saying for 35 years, all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. The relationship is that important. So to just, trust someone with a a whole with a something very important without knowing more about them and having a relationship, that's probably not wise. But I think you can, I like what Stephen M.R. Covey, son of Dr. Stephen Covey of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen M.R. Covey is author of a number of books on the speed of trust and others. And, he says, operate with trust in mind. At the same time, do it in a way that is productive, not counterproductive. And you start to figure out who the people are. You see them soon enough.
Oh yeah, you're telling me, buddy. Oh gosh. Hey, real quick, because you're diving into a whole bunch of stuff, but I know the comments are
Mhm.
bumping. We got tons of viewers, and man, the people are hungry for good information. So let me step in for Mike King real quick. You are
Okay.
on. I'm gonna try to do my Mike King impression. Hopefully he does. He comes back. All right, you were listening to Mike King Biz Radio with the Hounds of Business. I am filling in Mike Ashabraner, right? The leader of the Hounds of Business. We love rolling with Mike King. We are here with the one and only Bob Burg. All right, the Go Givers series, and he has an upcoming event with us. We're proud of Brand Face and Level Up Academy, the Hounds of Business. He is doing a masterclass webinar tomorrow. That's 2:30. All right, 2:30 Eastern. So you can go back and watch it if you're listening to this on the air Friday. But definitely want to check this out. This is not an infomercial wrapped up in a sales disguise here. This is good information. All right. He wrote the book on value. You're going to get that. So join us at 2:30 Eastern tomorrow. Man, it's going to be a packed house. We're so honored. Thank you, Bob, for that. And again, if you're looking to be part of a heart-centered pack of high-level professionals, dadgummit, hey, search us, Hounds of Business. We're on YouTube. You can find us on LinkedIn. All right, Mike Ashabraner. We love to connect with you guys. Redneckfinancialcoach.com has a landing page. You won't regret it. We love it. So let's get back. Now we gave Bob that break. All right, let's get back to the discussion. And real quick, Bob, when we'll cap this at the end, you have a retreat, an in-person live. Is that correct? Is that coming up in?
Yeah, called SalesWise Live, doing it with a couple of my great associates, Jeff West and Kim Angeli, two of the wisest, most fantastic marketing and sales professionals I've ever met. And that's going to be in West Palm Beach, Florida, at the beautiful Ben Hotel, right next to the downtown district in West Palm Beach, the famous Clematis Street, right across from Palm Beach Island. And it's going to be 2 days where people who are, already successful people, have a really good business, but who want to take it to that very next level. So it's going to be a very fun but very intense 2 days with lots of back and forth discussion and one-on-one and masterminding and breakouts, and it's going to be a blast. So hope people can join us.
Oh my gosh, I've already had a lot of the hounds and friends of the hounds in Florida. And again, you got time, guys. Make the travel arrangements. Go get this. Invest in yourself. I mean, that's the best thing I did. As soon as I started investing in myself, I got less goofy and a little bit better, right? How about that? So
Mhm.
back to the subject, Bob, because you really, man, the comments are bumping, and a lot of us struggle with that. A lot of us who are maybe empathic, right? That we love people. But I love the way you said, hey, you could do that a little too much. You could be a little naive. Don't mistake kindness, right? So what your perspective, do you see, or maybe you've experienced yourself, uh focusing on outcomes versus values? Is that kind of where you're coming from and your approach to things and people and sales and business? Is that a common theme that you see people struggle with, or no?
Well, when you operate from a consistent set of values, and they happen to be productive values, you're going to have the outcome. This is why, for example, to sum it up very quickly, John David Mann came up with this term. It's way above my pay grade, but what he said is money is simply an echo of value. Okay, so if you focus on the value, the money is going to come. I remember a very wise sales mentor, not a sales mentor, excuse me. He was not even in sales. I think he was an engineer. He was an older guy. He was about to retire. This is 40 years ago, or a little less than 40 years ago, at a company where I was working. And he said to me, Berg, he was a last name kind of guy. He said, Berg, if you want to make a lot of money in sales, he said, don't have making money as your target. Your target is serving others. Now, when you hit the target, he said, you'll get a reward. And that reward will come in the form of money. And you can do with that money whatever you choose. But never forget, he said, the money is simply the reward for hitting the target. It ain't the target itself. Your target is serving others. And I think, what that really said to me, Mike, is that when it comes right down to it, great salesmanship is never about the salesperson, right? Great salesmanship is never about the product or service, as important as those are. It's never what the sale is about. Great salesmanship is about the other person. It's about that person you're trying to add value to. Or I think we can even more accurately say it's about that person whose life is better just because you are part of it. And I think when we approach sales from that foundational premise, now we're really 9 steps ahead of the game in a 10-step game.
Yeah, I wish you would have made my life. I wish I'd known you uh, a couple of years ago because it would have made this journey a lot more easy to see. But that's what I
Mhm.
came through in the school of hard knocks. COVID hit. I couldn't go out and play anymore, and I didn't know how to translate. My relationship, building that with people. I really care about people, but I didn't know how to do that on social media, right? So I just put people in a group and started loving on them. Became an impromptu dating coach, etc. You heard the story. And guess what?
Mhm.
Right? The market went down and people came to me because they knew me. They knew, hey, this guy really cares about me. And you wrote the books on that. You co-authored those. You've set the stage for decades in this, Bob. So,
Thank you.
you know, what motivates you to continue, right? Because you don't have to do it. I mean, you can just ride the waves and be good, but you're still dedicated. You get up every day like you're still building from day one. I've seen you do it this
Mhm.
last several weeks. It's amazing. So, is it? Just your heart for people? Is that really what this is about? If you're just out there trying to get the world to level up, I mean, Why you keep going so full throttle, Bob?
Um, well, I mean, Mike, when it comes down to it, the first thing is I love what I do. So if you want to say that's selfish, I welcome anyone to say it. That's fine. But at 66 years old, the minute I stop having fun, I'm going to stop doing this. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. I do love the idea that what I bring to the table hopefully adds value to people's lives, hopefully adds value to the world to the extent that I can with my books and through speaking and through getting to speak with people like you and so forth. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what really motivates me, but I enjoy it.
Wow. Bob, you're amazing. Hey, again, Mike King Biz Radio, filling in for Mike. We appreciate the opportunity for this. The one and only Bob Burg, the Go Giver Series, Sales Wise live event. That is June 2nd to the 4th, correct? West Palm
Yeah, on
Beach.
the night of the 2nd, we're having a get together with a Dixieland band, and then on the 3rd and the 4th, it's those 2 really full days, and this is gonna be game changing.
I've got to go to it. You just said, hey, now I can't not go, right? I mean, come on. So, can I get in with this? Can I? They're not going to
You
stop me at the door for
absolutely
this hat
can.
on it.
We would never
All right.
stop you at the door anyway.
The tuxedo and the good answer, Bob. Hey, you're a gentleman, man. You've done this before. All right. So, hey, Hounds, friends of the Hounds, all the great listeners of RVA out there, you know, i- stop being stuck. Go out there and have courage before confidence. So everybody, make sure that you plug in tomorrow. All right, that's Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you're hearing this delayed, go back and watch the replay. This is going to be an amazing event. Lots of good. We got Jeff West, and how do you say Kim's last name?
Yeah, Kim Angeli. Yeah, she's very special.
Angeli. All right, rock
Yep.
stars. Oh man, rock
Mhm.
stars. We are so blessed and humbled to have them tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. This will help level up your game. And again, if you're heart centered, high level, you don't like the pushy stuff, right? We don't like to sell. As I know, Bob, I'm crude. Bald people haircuts, right? We're trying to help solve problems and get people to know us, like us, to see who we are, right? And just leave it there. So any last parting words, Bob? What's the last word of wisdom? Somebody out there who's scared to sell or scared to put their business out there. They just haven't took that baby step. What's the best advice or experience you can give them?
Well, I mean, I'm always big on finding the system to do it. What is it? Because if there's something you want to do, I guarantee you someone has already done it, and they've documented how to do it. What is a system? A system is simply the process of predictably achieving a goal based on a logical and specific set of how-to principles. The key is predictability. If it's been proven that by doing A, you'll get the desired result of B, then all you need to do is A and continue to get A, and you'll get the desired result of B. So if you have a desire to do a certain thing, build a certain business, be in a certain field, again, find the system, then apply the information immediately. Okay. That knowledge without action is the same as not having that knowledge. And then be persistent, be able to outlast the no's. Understand that in building a business, no is going to happen. There's a great book, A Business Parable, written about the same time as The Go-Giver, by my friends Andrea Waltz and Richard Fenton. The book is called Go for No. And what they say is, yes is the destination, no is how you get there. Doesn't mean you have to like the no, but as long as you understand that it's part of the way to success, you're okay with it. And then it's having belief. It's having belief in what you're doing. It's having belief that you're bringing some value to the world. And when you have that belief, that's what keeps you, really 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
But what can I say after that? I shouldn't say anything, but being me, I'm just going to say thank you. How about that? You embody the pack principles, man. You have been inspirational to me, so many people in the pack, and so many people across the world. You've been translated in 30 languages, right? This book has been inspiring. And here's what I like most about you, and I know everybody else does. You just don't talk the talk. You walk the walk every single day. You're not perfect, right? We all make mistakes, but you're the most consistent man that I've ever seen. And man, it's an honor to help you and push you up, because we need to get more good out there in the world. That's what I'm all about. That's what the pack represents. There's enough negative out there. Dadgummit, when we see something that can change your life and can push people up and be in a safe place and environment, that's what we spotlight. So thank you so much, Bob. Thank you for all the folks in the comments, folks listening right now in Mike King Biz Radio. Thank you so much, Mike King. We appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity. It's like when they put PB and J in the same jar. That's how I feel about Mike King Biz, and his audience is amazing. So we're going to wrap this up. Hey, don't forget to join us. You can go to my LinkedIn profile. You can find it on Hounds of Business on YouTube. Amazing webinar tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern time. Don't forget, we'll post about this, that you guys can go and find more resources about Bob on my profile, Mike Ashabraner, Hounds of Business on LinkedIn. We'll put all the stuff you need so you can learn more about Bob, all the resources he has, and they're affordable and accessible. That's what we really like. So don't think, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. So thank you, Bob. Thank you, audience. Thank you, Sindal, for running the back office. And hey, we appreciate you. We'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. So have a great week. Enjoy the weekend. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.